Hi guys, it's time to say welcome back to World of Tanks with me, Antonow 2, at last again. I've been on vacation for nearly 3 weeks now, but I'm back and I've got another 4 weeks of summer holidays left to put up videos every day. So I'm looking forward to that, and I hope you are too. Before we get stuck into this video here, I just want to quickly say thanks to you guys. We've got 250 subscribers about at the moment, 260. So in these 3 weeks in which I've been away, our channel has nearly doubled. So yeah, I'm really proud of this channel. I hope you are too. I hope you enjoy the kind of stuff I'm showing you, and just thanks a lot to you guys. Yeah, you're really awesome. So now that we've got that out of the way, we're going to get stuck into this video, which is a preview of patch 8.8. And Wargaming has published the first pictures of tanks that will, the first pictures of the changes that will appear in patch 8.8 on its website this morning. And of course I had a look into it, and I got some information for you, and I'm going to present it to you in this video. So the most important change that will happen in patch 8.8 is that there'll be a new line of Russian medium tanks. And these tanks are pretty interesting because quite a few of them have got rear-mounted turrets. As you can see in the tech tree that I'm showing you right here, they start off at tier 6. You can research the first one, which is the tier 6 tank, the A43, from the T-34. And then you get the A44 at tier 7. Then at tier 8 you get the Object 416. And what is very interesting is that Wargaming hasn't published any information about the tier 9 medium tank in this line. It's only saying that the tier 10 medium tank will be the Object 140. However, this Object 430 isn't mentioned at all. So the Object 140 is at tier 10, but they haven't said anything about the tier 9 tank yet. So that's all speculation here, and this tech tree that I'm showing you right here isn't quite accurate. So again, the Object 140 is at tier 10, and we've got no information about the tier 9 tank. So before this tech tree gets boring for you, I'm going to show you some pictures of the new tanks. So this is the tier 6 new medium tank, the A43, and it looks pretty similar to the T-34 really, and that's the tank you get, and you get this tank after the T-34 too. So the turret is very similar, the gun looks similar, however it isn't the same gun. And yeah, the front of the hull looks pretty similar too. It's got the same kind of machine gun port and the same driver's hatch. However, the rear of the turret is sloped in a kind not the rear of the turret, the rear of the hull is sloped in a kind of a different way, and yeah, the gun's probably going to be a bit more powerful. However, it's going to probably be very similar. The weight performance will probably be pretty similar to the performance of the 56mm gun of the T-34, just like with more damage, more penetration. So can we look forward to this tank? Yeah, I guess so. It looks fun, and any tank that's like the T-34 will be good shit. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So as we move on to tier 7, we meet the A44, which has a rear-mounted turret, and the turret looks very, very similar, if not the same, to the turret on the A43. However, in real life, this I'm not sure if this tank actually existed, but it was supposed to have the 57mm ZIS-4 gun of the T-34. However, as this is a tier 7 tank in the game, it will definitely not have that gun. This will probably have a 107mm gun, but I don't know anything more specific. So this tank is going to be probably very speedy. Hull scraping will be a pretty important tactic in this tank, and yeah, you have to get used to playing it because it's the first medium tank with a with a rear-mounted turret in the game, so it will take quite a while getting used to, but I bet this is going to be some machine. Then at tier 8 we meet the Object 416, and we've seen this turret before. It looks very, very similar to the turret of the T-32-3, or anyway the shape does. However, the hull is not all that familiar. It's again a rear-mounted fighting compartment, and this tank has got a very, very low profile, so that means that this will probably be a support tank, a sniper. You'll have to rely on your camo value because this tank is pretty low. On the right side you can see the stats of the tank. However, these stats are only or mostly speculation, and they may differ from the reality. The gun is a 100mm L58 M63. This gun is pretty similar to the 100mm D10T, which, for example, the IS can mount. So I think this tank looks pretty good. It's probably going to be very, very speedy. 16.7 horsepower per ton is pretty nice. So it's probably going to be very much fun to play, and if you stay behind the bushes, stay in cover, help your allies from the rear, I bet this tank's going to be a lot of fun. And finally we meet the Object 140 at tier 10. This is what we've all been waiting for, and it's looking very good. It looks a lot like the T-62-3, however the hull is shaped differently, and the stats are a bit different too. It's more maneuverable than the other tier 10 Russian medium tank, and it's got better hull and turret armor. The gun will probably be the same as on the T-62-3, however it may also have the U8TS, which is kind of a Russian version of a British L7. Again, I have to warn you not to rely on these stats because it's mostly just speculation, and it might not be as it says in these stats, but these will just give you a rough idea. So it's looking very good, and it's going to probably be a kind of a brawling tank like the T-62-3 is, a kind of all-rounder. So it's probably going to be difficult to get used to this tank after driving its predecessors, but it's going to be real good fun, and I'm probably going to get myself one because it's looking really, really good, and it's got this really nice bouncy turret. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. But we're not done yet, because now come the Germans, and here's little Fritz at tier 4. The Durchbruchs Panzer II, and this actually is a heavy tank. Now up till now there only was one tier 4 heavy tank in the game, the B1, but now there are two because this little Durchbruchswagen has come to the game. And it looks very boxy, like nearly all German tanks. It's got an enormous lower glacis, and I don't think this tank will be that slow really, because it just looks speedy. It looks like all these little Panzer II, Panzer III, Panzer I. It looks like that, and looks like it's got a very good gun too. So probably this tank won't be all that much about the armor, although it is a heavy tank, but more about speed and maneuverability as well as the gun, like most low tier German tanks. So it's tier 4. It's not really that important, but it doesn't look bad at all, really. So why not? Next in line we've got the VK3002M. This looks vaguely familiar. Hello Panther moved down to tier 6. This is basically what it is. It's not fully upgraded Panther at tier 6, but this is what the historical Panther really looked like. So it's probably going to play a lot like a Panther, just at tier 6. Kind of not all that agile, but kind of fairly maneuverable. Accurate gun, not high damage, but good penetration, just stuff like that. So for all you Panther fans out there, here's a second Panther for you, so that's good news. Yeah, I personally don't see the sense in this tank being integrated to the game, but well, the German tech tree is cramped that much anyway. I just think it's crazy the amount of German tanks in the game, so why add another one? But then again, why not? So, by the way, I forgot to mention that the VK3601H and the VK3001H won't be medium tanks anymore in patch 8.8. They'll be heavy tanks. And, well, I think that's kind of fair because they always were heavy mediums, so they just as well be heavies. I don't care. And they were prototypes, like the VK3601H was a prototype of the Tiger, so that's fair enough. But I don't think the stats of them will change a great deal. So, and now finally we get to the real goodies, the Chinese. And there'll be two new Chinese tanks in update 8.8. The first one is the 112 Tier 8 Heavy Premium tank. Now this tank was announced for patch 8.6 already, however it didn't came. It was announced for patch 8.7, but then it was removed from the test server and from the patch entirely due to rebalancing. And now it's announced for 8.8 again, so here it is. And I won't be going into detail about this tank all that much, because I've made a separate video. The link's popping up on screen right now, so you can watch this separate preview of 112 if you're interested. I'll just tell you this much quickly. It's kind of like a cross between the WZ-111 and the 113. It's got the turret of the WZ and the hull of the 113. It's got the same gun as the IS-2 uses. So it's kind of similar to the IS-6, however the turret arm obviously is a lot better, like all Chinese. The rear and side armor, however, are kind of the weaknesses. And for more information and a complete list of the stats that this tank will probably have, just look at my video of this tank. So, next Chinese tank coming up. And now finally we come to the part of this preview that I've been looking forward to the most, which is introducing the T-34-3. This will be a Tier 8 Chinese premium medium tank, which will kind of replace the Type 59, which was removed from the game about 1.5 years ago. And since then the game has been missing a Chinese premium medium tank, and now it's getting one again in patch 8.8, the T-34-3. And this is a pretty cool and pretty interesting tank. The statistics, the specifications are very similar to those of the Type 59 and to most other Chinese medium tanks. The acceleration is a bit bad because the power to weight ratio isn't all that amazing for a medium tank. However, the armor is amazing, especially the frontal armor is really good. The maneuverability is alright, and it's got a devastating gun. And the gun is the main difference between this tank and the Type 59, because the Type 59 had a really distinct medium tank gun with a very high rate of fire, good DPM, but not all that amazing penetration, and well, decent accuracy, decent aiming time. But this gun here has got, this is just a pure derp gun. This is your typical 122 gun that 122mm gun that you've got on most of your Russian and Chinese heavy tanks. Like for example the IS-2. It's basically the IS-2's gun really. It can dish out 390 damage on average, which is simply amazing. However, it's got really bad accuracy, really bad aiming time, and pretty bad penetration. However, I should point out to you that this gun has got 300mm of penetration when fired with gold ammunition, while the Russian 122mm guns have only got about 250mm of penetration with gold ammo, I think. So that's quite a difference there. And then typically for all Chinese tanks, the gun depression and gun elevation really sucks. Especially the gun depression, 3 degrees, that could just as well be nothing. So yeah, this tank is pretty similar to the T-34-2 really, but it's better, and this I think will easily be the best premium tank in the game. If the stats are the way it says here, it will easily be the best, and I'm definitely going to get it. However, again, these stats might not be correct because a lot of it's only speculation. I just have to point that out again and again because I know definitely some guys are going to come up in the comments and say that I'm lying and whatever. So I told you this is not 100% accurate. But I'm just really looking forward to this tank, and it's just going to be an amazing brawler. So we're not done yet though, so let's have a quick look at the last thing I've got. We're also getting a new map in patch 8.8. The Russian Tundra is coming to World of Tanks, and yeah, it's kind of familiar because we already know Karelia, but still this map looks really good because its layout's going to be different to Karelia, but the landscape looks very similar. However, the landscape looks really great. There's a lot of detail in this map, not a lot of houses and cities though, so heavy tanks I guess will have a hard time, although they could hide behind these rocks and go into RT shelter there. But I think this map really is good for RT, medium tanks and tank destroyers. I think heavy tanks are kind of going to have a hard time in this map, but especially TDs and medium tanks I think are really going to kick ass in this map. And look at all this loving detail, it looks really nice. The lighting of this map is amazing, and I really can't wait to get a tank rolling over those fields and mountains. So yeah, it's looking nice, and quite a lot of goodies coming up for us in patch 8.8. I hope I could give you some first impressions. I hope it was helpful for you, useful, so that you can plan your way down the tech trees a bit better now. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to this patch. I hope you are too, and thanks for watching a lot. Subscribe to my channel. You could follow me on Facebook too, and I hope I'll see you in one of my next videos. Bye bye.